Okay, see, we are learning how to write queries now. Okay, see, inserting is very simple, you don't have to worry. The most difficult thing while querying, no, the query what we find very tough is the select query. Insert, update, delete, somehow you'll manage, but always the select query is the toughest query to write. Because what happens in a select query is there will be lot of data in your table. Okay, among that data, you want a very few data. It's not that you require the full data of the tables now. So you go on giving conditions and eliminating the records. Okay, so that is why, see, anyway, you know that for selecting the records from the table, you are going to use which one now? Select query, you know that. But today we'll study the structure of SQL query. Which one? Select SQL query. The structure of a select SQL query and also some of its execution process. How it executes, that we'll study. So today's topic would be structure of select SQL query. Okay, see, a select SQL query can have these many clauses. We call them as clauses. Okay, one is the select clause, second one is the from clause, on, where, group by, having, order by. This is how you have to write it. This is the order. Okay, means when you write your select query, the first one should be select, then the second one should be from, then the third one should be on, where, group by, having, order by. So most of the people who write queries, they find it very difficult to use these clauses. So that's why we'll go into an in-depth discussion into this, and you'll get the correct idea. Okay, see, we are going to write the queries on a single table today also. Which table? Employee table. Practice it. Which on the Scott employee table? Scott employee table. Today also I'll be writing queries on the Scott employee table. Okay, we are going to write it on a single table. From tomorrow we'll start writing these queries on multiple tables. So it's why practice this clearly today, so that tomorrow when you start writing the queries, it will be very easy. Okay, so anyway, these are the 7 clauses what I've written here. But see, we write it in this way, but the SQL executes in its own style. Means first always it will execute, the order of execution will be what? From clause executes, then the second clause which gets executed is on, third one is where clause, fourth one is group by clause, then having, then select, then order by. This is the order of execution. Are you clear with this now? Okay, now, so generally, see, this is how you have to write queries. When you are using the select clause, okay, see, this is the order of execution, but while teaching I'll go in the same order. While teaching I'll be teaching what? How to use the select clause first, then from, I'll go on teaching in that way. Okay, and among these clauses, one more thing which is very important is, these two clauses, when you're writing a select query, no, select and from is mandatory. If you write a select clause, if you write a select query, these two clauses are mandatory. Means you have to write, if you want to write a select query, these two should be there, these two clauses. And all these other are optional. It is not mandatory. And this is also a very important point what you have to understand. These two are mandatory when you are writing a select query, and these other things what you are saying here are optional. Okay. So while studying, we are going to study it in what? This order itself, but this is the order of execution. Now, just to give you still more clarity on this subject, see, what do you write along with select clause? It's very simple. See, select clause is used for, see, you'll be having a table now. Just understand this process. You'll be having a table. You can have data inside it. Leave the data. Select clause is used for what? Selecting columns. Understand that. Because see, there'll be lots of data in your table. Lots of data. You don't want the entire data. So you want only some particular columns. Fine. So select clause is used for what? Selecting columns. So if you want to take a name, which column? Column number 1, column number 2, or if you say star, what will happen? Asterisk. All the columns will be selected. So along with select, you can use either the column names or star, or you can use a SQL function. That's it. So when you are writing a select clause, see to that you use only these 3 things. What all? Column names or star or SQL function. Other than that, you cannot use anything. Until now you have practiced this, it's okay. But still you will have more clarity on that subject. The next one is from clause. From clause means what? It is used for selecting the table. See, there will be many tables in your which one? Database. You have to write a query now. On which table you want to write a query? So that's what you specify. So which table you want to query will be specified on in the from clause. Then on is used for joining tables. Okay, on is used for joining tables. Join means what? There will be multiple tables now. Okay, we have stored the data into multiple tables. Now when you want to retrieve the data from multiple tables, that is when you go on to join it. Okay, anyway, join we'll be discussing from tomorrow. You don't have to worry. If at all you want to join the tables, you'll be using what? On clause. Okay, fine. Next, there's something called as where clause. Okay, so from is used for selecting the table. Select is used for selecting what? Columns. Where is used for what? Selecting rows. Okay. Select will select the columns. Where will select what? Rows. That's how the data goes on getting eliminated. Understood? Where is going to select the required rows for you. And how will you eliminate the rows? By giving conditions. Where job is equal to manager, where salary is greater than 1000, like that you give conditions. Okay. So to eliminate rows you give conditions. Understood? But in select clause you only go with what? Column names. Are you getting the difference now? Select is used for selecting columns, from is used for selecting the table, where is used for selecting rows. Okay. Now when you are giving a condition in where clause, these are the different operators you can use. When you are giving a condition in where clause, these are the different operators you can use. Which are the operators? Comparison operator. Then set membership operator, pattern matching, range test, null value test operator, logical operator. So these are the various operators which you can use with where clause. Now first one, let's say comparison operator. If you use any of this operator in your where condition, you can give a single value. Like where name is equal to Alan or where name is equal to Jones. You are giving a single value. Okay. Or if you want, you can say greater than, where salary greater than 3000. So you are giving a single value. Understood? So it means if you use these operators, you can give a single value. Sometimes when you want to give multiple values, you go on to use what? Set membership operator, and if you use set membership operator, you can give what? You can provide multiple values or set of values. Okay. Then there is something called as pattern matching operator. Like you have written queries where name like a percentage means get all the details of the employee whose name starts with A, like that. Understood? So there are two pattern matching operator. One is percentage, other one is underscore. Okay, we'll study it. I'll be giving you examples. We'll see it. The difference is underscore will replace what? Single value. Percentage will replace 0 or multiple characters. This is single character, that is 0 or multiple characters. We'll go to that also. Range test operator, we'll see, but the range test operator in this one is called between. Okay. Then null value test operator is null. Logical operator and or not. Okay, these are the operators. See, every language will give operators. Concept is same, but they have their own mechanism to give it. And so these are the list of SQL operators now. Whatever you are seeing here are SQL operators. So a rich set of operators is there provided by SQL for you. Just to provide what? Conditions. Understood now? So they give you so many operators for just to provide conditions. Next. The next clause what you are going to do is grouping, group by. Means if sometimes you want to group. So that time you use the group by clause. Having, we'll be seeing it. So having is used for selecting groups actually. Selecting groups. This is one very important interview question. Difference between where and having. Where is used for selecting what? Rows. Having is used for selecting groups. This is the major difference between where and having. I will be showing you with examples. Okay, major difference. Understood? And having should be used along with group by. Having should be used along with group by. We'll see all that in the coming section. Okay. Then lastly, order by is used for sorting. Understood? Either in ascending or descending. Default is ascending. So this is how they have designed the select query. Okay. So initially we have to break this. Otherwise writing queries becomes very difficult. But once you understand how these things are getting used with some examples, simple examples, automatically you can write any big query. It will not be a problem for you. Done? And remember, select query is very important because data will be inserted into tables. But at the end of the day, you have to retrieve the data for what? Processing. So you should get the accurate data. Otherwise, there is no point in writing what? Logics. And that's what we will practice now. Okay. See now, the order of execution will be with this. I'll again come back now. See from. How is the order of execution? From. First the table is selected. Leave on now. Right now we will not discuss. Today we will not discuss about on. Rest all I will discuss. So from will select the table. Where will select what? Rows. It will eliminate the rows. First the table will be selected. Now where condition will be applied and it will eliminate the rows. Then group by will be applied. Means grouping will be done. After grouping is done, then what happens then? Having. Means it will eliminate the rows, groups now. It will select the groups. Understood? Having will select the groups or eliminate the groups. Means eliminate means the one side it will be eliminated, other side it will be selecting. Then columns will be selected and then order by will execute. Getting the order of execution? Huh? So first table is selected, then rows are selected, then grouping is done, then groups are selected, then columns are selected, and then it's going to sort. So this is the order of execution. If you get this, easily you can write any queries. And one more bad habit you have of writing queries. Understood? When anybody asks you to write a query, you'll write it in a lengthy way. Select from where, and finally you'll not end up writing nothing. Always best, anybody asks you to write a select query, better adapt this process. Means write like this only. Select from, on, where, and all that. Understood? Today also I'll teach you how to write this kind of queries now. So when anybody questions you something in the interview, you should know which are the clauses which are actually required. That is important. Simply you struggle writing query, there is no use. Okay, see, your query might go wrong, you might not get the output, but they'll be looking into what approach you are writing, what approach you are taking to write the query. So remember, some things which you cannot clear in interview, they'll be checking into what? Your approach. Supposingly there is a query given now, right, to do something, like they'll say select something like this and that. Okay, that time what happens, you should know which are the clauses required for that particular purpose. So that's why one by one I'll start teaching you now. Then we'll use all the queries together now. Is this clear to you now? Shall I clear this now? You written it down now? And remember, select and from is mandatory. That you never forget. You cannot write a select query with select and from. There is a small document for interview purpose. I prepared it so that you can easily explain it in the interview. Write down the structure of SQL query. Means they'll ask you why is select used. Simple English. I explained it. Same thing, but in words I have put. Say select is used to what? Select columns from tables. We can also use SQL functions along with select. Simple. From is used to select what? Tables or views. On is used to provide condition to join tables. Leave that, time being. Where is used to select what? Rows from tables by providing conditions using column names. So it is used for selecting what? Rows. Understood? Group by is used to form groups. You have to provide the attribute name or column name. Attribute name is column name on which grouping has to be done. Lastly, having is used to select groups. You'll form groups and you'll be selecting some groups. So it is used to select groups by providing condition using aggregate function. Order by is used for sorting the results either by ascending or descending. Default is ascending. Some interview points and tips for you. Clear? Means which clause is used for what purpose. Okay, we'll start off with the first two. Which one? Because you cannot learn them separately. Which one? Select and from. We'll learn it together. Take the first one now. Select and from. You write it down. I'll show you some examples and then I'll come back and explain to you this. Or I think it's pretty clear. Let's read it off. Following are the different clauses which can be used in the select query. Select clause is used for what? Selecting the columns from the tables. We can also use SQL functions along with select clause. You can use it. But now see this. But when you use an aggregate function, no other column can be used with select clause. If you use aggregate function with select clause, you cannot use any other column with select clause. However, if you use group by clause, then the only grouping attribute column name can be used with select clause. This is what we had discussed in the last class, but still more clarity I'll give you on this. Next, from clause is used for selecting what? The tables. We can also use group from clause for selecting the views. Views still are not covered. That when I cover it, you'll understand. But basically, from clause is used for selecting tables. Okay. Now see this. We'll take the first. Start seeing examples now for what? Select and from. So I got all this one now. Which one? The 11th folder you can refer. Select query. Okay. So in select query, see this Scott.sql. We are working on what? Scott tables. So that is mandatory. Then these are the queries I have kept for you. Okay. So let's study retrieve all the details in employee table. So I'll show you how to write queries now. Okay. The username is Scott Tiger. Login. Okay. One second. See example for select and from clause. Okay. So using select clause for selecting columns, and this one tables also I'll be showing. Using select clause selecting columns and from clause for selecting tables. Yeah. See, retrieve all the details in the employee table. You want all the details. A very simple query, you know how to write it. You want all the details, but from which table? Employee table. So first, you want all the details means there's no condition only. All rows, all columns you want. Okay. So you should know now which clauses you should do. You should use now. So you should write like this always. Select from. Only two clauses are required now for this query. How many clauses do you need? Only two. Okay. So in from clause, first you mention the table name. Always first what you do? Mention the table name. First you fill this. It's like fill in the blanks. Write the clauses, then go on filling the blanks. Otherwise you'll never write your query. Understood? So you should know which clause is required. Okay. Then there you go on filling the blanks now. So all details now. So what I'll do? I'll say star. That's it. Understood? See, you will write the query now. So till now blindly you're writing. Don't do it. So practice writing queries like this. This is an analytical approach you take for writing your queries. See this. Select and what next? From. Done? Yeah, which table you have to work now? EMP. Which column you want? All details. Start. Finished. That's how you have to write. Write it like this. So then you can run your query. It will give you all the details. Understand how to write queries? This is the simplest. We'll go now more because you have to learn all the clauses. Okay. Are you clear with this now? Okay. The next question now. Retrieve the details of all employees and their jobs. Correct? Na? What is the next question now? Query for what? Retrieve the details of all employees and their jobs. All the employees and their jobs. That's all you want. Understood? So means employee. You want employee name. So now see this. What is the query you want? Select. From. Here also very rare condition. Okay. From which table first? EMP. Then next. I want the employee names. So I'll tell ename. See, we are eliminating the data from the tables. Only what I want and that I'm selecting now. Ename comma what I want? Jobs. I think only job is the column name, no? Yeah, the name of the this one is job. Okay. So see this. So it will display what? Everybody's name and job. Clear? It will display everybody's name and job. So like this you should start writing your queries now. Select from, like that. Understood? Retrieve all the details in EMP table. Okay, fine. Next question we'll take now. Using SQL function with select clause. So you can also use SQL function with select clause. See, the requirement is this now. What is the requirement? Select the total salary of all employees. That's the requirement. So now, yeah, select and from is mandatory. Yes or no? This is mandatory. Without this, you can't write a select query only. From which table you want to select? EMP. Fine. Now you want what? Total salary. Now there is no point in selecting columns. Why do you want to select the columns now? You want the result of what? Total salary. That is why with select clause, what I will do now? I start using aggregate functions. Understood? So like this, it's fill in the blanks always. So write select from. First fill the table name, then fill your select clause. So what will I do now? Sum of salary, like this. Understood now? So like this, you go on to write your queries now. So now see, run. Yeah, you can see the sum now. Yeah, but there's a catch here. When you use the aggregate function, you cannot select any other column name. This you know now. Like example, e-name. It looks quite illogical. You're selecting the sum of salary and all the employee names. How it will happen? Quite illogical it is. So that's what, when you use an aggregate function, you cannot use what? Any other column name in the select clause. Say error, I'll show you. It'll give error. But if at all you want to use a, that I'll be teaching you next in group by. If at all you want to use a column name here, if at all, okay, that time what will happen? You should use, last class we had discussed this, but again I'll come back and repeat this. Group by, I have to group something now. Okay, I'll group by job, something like this. Now when you do group by also, it's not mandatory that you have to use that in what? Select. It is not mandatory. Say I'll run it, it will run without what? Using job there. But here what's actually the query is saying now, it is giving the sum of salary for every job. But our requirement was finding the total salary of all the employees. Okay, but just I'm talking about what? How to use select clause. Means when you are using a select clause, you can use aggregate function. If at all you use aggregate function, you cannot use any other column name. But if at all you want to use a column name, then it should be what? The grouped by attribute name. Again I'll be discussing this in what? Group by I'll discuss, I'll come back. Here you just focus on select. Now what is the summary of select? You can use either, restrict your column names, either which column you want. Column this, column that you restrict. Or you can say star. Or you can use SQL function, that's it. Are you clear with this now? Last thing what you can use with select clause is column names, asterisk or star or SQL functions. That's it. Are you clear with this? So I'll just remove this, which one? Group and all I'll remove, because our requirement was what? Finding the total salary of all the employees. Done? Okay. So then the next query now, find the total salary of all employees. Fine. I think we are pretty much done with what? Select clause. Now we'll move with what? Where clause. Select is very simple. Select is used for selecting columns or using SQL functions. So shall we move to the next one? Example for where clause. Understood? I'll show you how to write the queries here itself. So you'll start studying where clause now. So in where clause you have written now. You wrote now at the beginning of the class, which is the first operator we have to discuss, comparison operator. So first I'll give you examples for what? Comparison operator. Check this. So now say retrieve all employees working for department number 20 is the query, is the requirement. Retrieve all employees who are working for department number 20. Now how do you select? Don't look at the query now. So what all clauses are required? Select. From. Where condition is required now. So you should know What are the different clauses required now? So first write select, then write from, then write where. See, the requirement is this: retrieve all employees working for department number 20. Understood? So in where, first you fill what? First you fill in the blanks for what? Employee table. Okay. Then you give the condition, because you want all the employees working for what? Department number 20. Now fill department number, okay, it's single, 20. Then columns, which one you want, you select now. That is your wish. So this is how you go on eliminating the data. You can select any column, because you understood just now what? Select clause. So select now. I will select only what? E-name or department number. That's your wish. Any column you want, you can select. That's how you fill in the blanks now. Getting it now? Following. Select from where? Just I'll delete it and type it again for you. But see this, how you do it. So don't by heart the queries. Learn it analytically like this now. Yeah? So I'll delete it and I'll show you. So what are the different clauses required now? And it comes with experience now, practice. Like which are the clauses required and all, it comes with practice. See this. What is the clause now? Select I require. Then what I need? From. Then what I need? Where? Yeah, now fill. What do you need? Employee table. Then what you need? Where? Condition you have to give. Okay, so which condition I am giving now? Where department number is equal to 20. So I am giving a condition, but to give a condition, what is the operator I am using? Comparison operator I am using. Okay, then next, which column you want? We want e-name, comma, department name. Whatever column names you want, you select. That's your wish. You can say star also. There is no doubt about that. So now this is how you write your queries, and you can say run. It will execute now. So it will give the list of what? And it's displaying only what? Working in department number is 5. These are the 5 people who are working in department number 20. Clear? Sometimes the records will, okay, I'll just come back to that. So are you clear with this? This is how you go on writing your queries now. Yeah? Now one more query. Retrieve all managers and their salaries. Like this you go on writing queries. Okay. Select e-name, sal. Now you should know now. Select from where is required. From what you will fill? EMP. Job, what will you say now? Manager. So like this you can start filling the things now, and so it will give you the all managers and their salaries. So these are the list of managers. Jones, Blake and Clark are the managers. If you want, you can open one more browser, object browser you open. And in EMP table you can check out who are the managers. See how many managers are there. One manager Jones, second one is Clark, third one is Blake. 3 managers are there. So it's giving you the 3 managers and their salary. That was our requirement. Retrieve all managers and their salary. Yeah? Okay. So just to look at the 2 queries now. What you have written just now. Okay. See, whenever you are writing a where clause, okay, so there is a syntax what you have to follow. When you are writing a where clause now, see, this is syntax of where clause. Syntax. Where clause you have to use. Then you have to use what next? Column name. You have to give column name. Then next what you have to give? Operator. This is the syntax. Then next what you have to give? Value you have to give. Good. So this is the syntax of where clause. Yeah? The syntax of where clause looks like this. Use where, remember this, where, column name, operator, value you have to give. Understood? So now I'll again take this query only. Retrieve all employees working for department number 20. Now see how I'll write. Same thing. Select. Correct? From. Where. These are the 3 clauses we need now. So from I'll fill what? Table name. Where I'll have to fill now? The condition. So I have to use what now? Column name first. So where department number, I have to use next what? Operator. Then I have to use what? Value. Columns, it's up to you now. In any order you can select the columns. First department number or e-name, like this. So like this, there will be lots of data in your tables. Okay, you go on eliminating the data like this, and then you will retrieve this data into what? Your applications. What data you want? See, you know the rule now. You will be having a UI. UI will make a request now. It will tell, display all the, what is the requirement? Okay, here there will be a requirement. The user will be clicking, display all the employees who are working for department number 20. This is what he will click or do something. That request will come to your application. Application has to connect to database, fetch the values. It will bring it from secondary memory, it will bring it into primary memory. From primary memory, it will display all these values now. But this query you should know how to write now. The full table, what is the use of displaying now? So that's why we are learning or practicing how to write queries now. Understood? So I have told you earlier also, this application can be written in any language, VB, C, C++, secondary. But whatever application it is, okay, whatever language of application you are using, compulsory you should know what now? SQL query. Because SQL queries are written into your application. So that important it is. Understood? So practice SQL a lot. It is very important. Are you clear with this now? More things now. Okay. So when you give a condition, yeah, this part, where part, see these are some technical words which I'll tell you. These terminologies are important. Why means when you read books, big books or advanced books, these terminologies will become important. That's the reason I'll introduce some terminology to you. Okay, this where clause is also known as predicate. Where clause is also known as predicate, and it is used to give a condition. And this condition is also sometimes known as what you know? Criterion. Criterion. The conditions are sometimes called as criterion. In bracket I'll write. So till now in where clause I'm showing you how to give you what? Single criterion. Later on I'll show you how to give multiple criterion. Okay, multiple criterion is nothing but what? Criteria. The plural of criterion is criteria. Criterion is singular, criteria is plural. Criterion, singular, criteria, plural. So right now we are learning giving single condition. Later on I will be teaching you how to give multiple conditions. If you want to give multiple conditions, you will use which operator? You know that? Logical operators, and or. So just I have highlighted, there it will become easy for you. Are you understanding how to write the queries now? Okay, so this is called as the predicate. Okay, where clause is called as a predicate, and you will give the criteria in the where clause, and we are given a single condition, that's why it's called as criteria. Clear? Because it's singular, single condition. This is single condition. I will later on show you how to give multiple conditions. Shall I clear all this now? Yeah, the next query which you are seeing now, retrieve all managers and their salaries. The second query, okay, what you saw now? Sorry, second means the next query, retrieve all managers and their salary. You wrote, what is the query word? Where job is equal to managers. So that's the criterion. Again a single condition there. Clear? So like this you go on giving conditions. The job is equal to manager. Yeah? Okay, more. The next query now. Retrieve all employees whose salary is greater than 2000. I'm showing you how to use all the comparison operators. On an example. Till now we are using what? Equals. Now we are using what? This greater than operator. Okay, but look, carefully observe. Here also single value. Here also single value. Previous example also what? The department is equal to 20. Single value. So using comparison operator we can give what? Single values. Understood? Okay, retrieve, and very simple now. Whose salary is greater than 2000. So again what do you require now? select is mandatory, from is mandatory. These two you always write it blindly. Blindly you write it off. Okay. Now the condition is what? Where salary is greater than 2000, means you want to eliminate rows now. If you want to eliminate rows, what will you do? You start using where clause. You want to eliminate rows now. So use where clause. So here you will tell, see now, fill in the blanks, EMP. Then next what? Salary greater than 2000. Here columns you select. So this is how you go on eliminating the data. First select the table, then select the rows, then select your columns. So which column you want? I have selected e-name and salary. Any column, that's your wish now. E-name, comma, salary, more you can select, department number, all you can select. That's your wish. Are you understanding how to write queries now? So what will it happen now? Just see this. You understand how to type? Type like that. Again, do you want me to type and show? You can manage now? Okay. So this is how you will write, and you can see this. So these are the list of employees who are getting salary greater than 2000. Very simple. So we have given what? One condition and one criterion now. Yeah? Next. So comparison operator is used for what? Giving single condition or single value. Single value, not single condition, single value. Comparison operator is used for giving single value. Okay. So then if I want to give multiple values, check now how will you do? We'll use set membership operator. This is an example for what? Set membership operator. The second one, you load the list now, beginning of the class, all the operators. So in the second one is set membership operator, the query now. See how will you write? Retrieve salary and job details of two employees, Alan and Blake. This is the requirement now. Only two employee details I want now. Understood? So how will you write the query now? Select is mandatory, from is mandatory. Understood? Select is mandatory, from is mandatory. But the condition is what now? Salary and job details I want. Only two things. But of two employees. So I have to give a condition, means I have to eliminate the rows. Here also I have to eliminate what? Rows only. So I'll write now, where e-name, first fill what? Select from where? EMP. Then what? Where? E-name in. Now see, I'm giving multiple values. But if I use equals or those comparison operators, I can give a single value. That's the difference. So I'm giving two values here. Clear? Very simple. So it will give me the details of these two employees now. You can see now. Alan, Blake. Yeah? Okay. Next, if you want three employees, which are the three employees? Alan, Blake and Jones. Very simple. See, in like this you can give any number of records. Clear? See, there are many ways to write query. I'm just introducing, now when I'm writing one query, I'll be highlighting on a particular concept there. So here I'm concentrating on what? In operator. Understood? Just I'm showing you how to give multiple values using in operator. This query same output you can get in many other ways also. But my focus is now in operator. Think like that. Understood now? Fine. Next. Pattern matching operator. We have discussed all these queries. But still, some more examples we'll see now. Pattern matching operator, like. Which is a pattern matching operator in SQL? Like. Okay. So there are two pattern matching operators, percentage and underscore. What is percentage going to do? Replaces multiple values, that is 0 or more than one character. This will, okay, it's an example for what? This is an example for percentage. See, select all employees whose name starts with what? A. Fine. Whose name starts with A. Requirement is that. Look at the query, it means requirement. How you write your query now? Select from where? You have to give a condition because you have to eliminate what? Rows. So since you want to eliminate rows, you should write e-name. But what is the condition you give now? Which operator you need now? I cannot use comparison operator. I cannot use set membership operator. I have to use which one now? Pattern matching operator. Where name, like, single quotes. That's it. Columns, you decide whichever column. I have selected which column? Employee number and name. These columns, it's your wish. Simple. Understood? So practice always writing queries like this. Select from, so you should know which clauses to use. Until and unless, means you should know what to eliminate and get the data. So to eliminate, you go on using one clause. Select, from, where, group by, like that you'll go on doing. Clear? So anyway, we'll get the grip of this. So now it is going to give the list of all the names. Means these are the 2 employees. If you want, you can go and check in the Allen browser. Object browser. There are 2 employees whose name starts with A. Adams and Allen. Your same result you're getting it here. Done? Now, if you want, you can use underscore also, but this will replace what? Single value. So run it and it will display only one value. Which one? Smith. Percentage, 0 or many. Yes, A percentage means what? A with any number of characters. Okay. Now combination of percentage and underscore. If you are getting confused, see this. Underscore A percentage. Understood? Underscore A means anything can be replaced. But second word should be compulsory what? A now. Second word should be compulsory A. After that, any characters, 0 or n. So now, so how many employees? Ward, Martin, James. Notice all of them have the second letter as A. Clear? Understood pattern matching operator? 3 queries I showed you. Retrieve all employees whose names start with A. Replaces single value. This one what? Yeah, there it was replacing multiple 0 or more than 1 character. Here it will replace single value and here it will replace. Example for showing both. Okay, the next one, range test operator. Range test operator. Retrieve all employees whose salary is between range of, whose salary is in between the range of what? 2000 and 3000. See now, very simple. Select from where, what you will tell now? Salary now. Okay, see now where E name, you have to give, see when you are giving a condition in where you should be very careful, I told you. Because you will use what? Column name, then you have to use what? Operator. Which operator I will use now? See the syntax you know now of where clause. What is the syntax of where clause? Column name, operator, value. See where, column name. Which operator? Where E name, between, values you have to give now. How will you give? 2000 and 3000. Sorry, salary. Columns again, which one you want, you can select. Clear? So this is a range test operator. Example, one of the example for range test operator. Clear? And notice, I have already used what? Logical operator. I will come back to that. Salary between 2000 and 3000. But we are focusing on which one here? Range test operator, that is between. Focus on only that. So yes, between 2000 and 3000, these are the 5 employees whose salary is between 2000 and 3000. Fine. Now the next one, null value test operator. Retrieve all employees who are not getting commission. Retrieve all the employees who are not getting commission. So select star, means that's your wish, from EMP where commission is null. So these are the list of employees who are not getting commission. How many employees? See, sometimes 10 rows are there. Might be there are more rows. We don't know, no? But it is displaying only how many rows? 10. So if you want that amount to increase, you can display. Here you change 15. By chance, if there are extra records, it will display. That's it. So retrieve all employees. Which one? Yeah, who are not getting commission. So these many are there? 10 only, I think. Yeah, 10 employees who are not getting any commission. Clear? Yeah. Now we'll come to logical operators. Clear? So the logical operators. So see here, we have written already this query. Retrieve all employees whose salary is between what range I had given, 2000 and 3000, no? Yeah, same thing I'll write. So you can write the queries in many ways. Like this also you can write. Using what? Relational operators also you can write. But here we are focusing on what? And. We are not focusing on relational operators. So retrieve, see the result is same. So these are the list of employees who are getting the salary between 2000 and 3000. Correct. So fine. But here I am started giving what? Multiple conditions. So how did you give two conditions? Two conditions, how did you give in where clause? See, I have to give two conditions sometimes. Till now in where clause you are giving what? Single condition. So if at all you want to give multiple conditions, what will you use? And or. So these two operators are there now, which one? The logical operators. And or are used for what? Giving multiple conditions. Conditions. Don't get confused. Condition it is. Multiple value is different, multiple condition is different. Set membership operator is used for giving multiple value. This is used for giving multiple condition. Understood? So here what happens, and or can be used for giving multiple conditions in where clause. Okay. And not is used for what? Negation. And or is used for giving multiple conditions. I have written it on the top. And or operators are used for giving multiple conditions. They are used to provide restrictions. I'll explain that word. Okay. So they are used for giving multiple conditions, and not is used for negation purpose. We'll come back to that. Okay. Again, some more terminology I'll introduce now. There is something called as restriction. Okay. That's the word. When you write conditions now, multiple conditions. Okay. You'll be providing some restriction. There are two types of restriction. There are two types of restriction. These terminologies are very, very important. Understand it. It's very simple. You know how to use and, you know how to use or. Just I am bringing some terminology here. Okay. So what are the two types of restriction? One is called as conjunction. The other is called as disjunction. So if you want conjunction, no, you will do it with help of and operator, and if you want disjunction, no, you will do it with help of or operator. That's all. Only terminology about, nothing else. Understood? And both have been used for giving what? Multiple conditions. There are two types of restriction. So now, what was the query? Whose salary is between 2000 and 3000. Let's see it. How do you written the query? Select. How will you write? You want all the employees whose salary is between 2000 and 3000. So tell me now. Select from where. From means the employee table. Where means you have to give the condition of what? Where salary is greater than or equal to 2000 and salary is less than or equal to 3000. Always and will be written next line like this. And will be written in next line like this, so that you'll understand very clearly. That's one more convention we follow. These are all conventions. And salary is less than or equal to 3000. Yes, now see here. So we are using what? Conjunction. And is the conjunction. That is okay. Now this is one criterion. Yes, sir? This is another, one more criterion. So how many criterions are there? Two. Means there are two criteria. There are means now two criteria. So if you want to provide criteria means what? Multiple conditions. If you want to provide multiple means criteria or multiple conditions, we use logical operators and or. And or are the two operators used for giving criteria. Understood? So some terminologies meant nothing else. Is that clear? Okay, but these terminologies are very important. Gradually you'll understand. Here Query you know how to write. Just I am bringing some terminology here. Understood now? Okay, earlier it was 1000 and 2000. I just rectified it to 2000 and 3000 so that you can compare with what? Between operator. Result is same. That is, there I used range test operator, here I used comparison operator. That's it. So like that, sometimes you can write your queries in many ways. Fine. Are you clear with this? Now, retrieve all employees who are salesman or clerk. Operator is used to provide what? Or operator is used to provide disjunction restriction. Very simple. Either salesman or clerk you want. Understand now? So you should know how to provide conditions like this. So write your queries like this only. Select from where. After one condition, one more condition now. Next line. Or. Okay. So if you write queries like this, it's fill in the blanks. You will not get any problem. If you write it in single line now, you will not know what to do. Understood? You will not know what to write only. Where you are going wrong only you will not understand. But here you can debug very easily. Understood? So fine. It's very easy to debug here now. A job is equal to salesman and job is equal to clerk. You know, means problems only will not occur here for you. From table name you are giving, select column names you are giving. Definitely will not get any problem. So practice like this itself. So run. So these are the list of people who are either salesman or clerk. Done? Okay. Now see this. One more interesting query of how you are using criteria, two conditions. Retrieve all employees who are working for department number 20 and whose name starts with what? A. You should work for department 20 and his name should start with what? A. You will give conditions now, criteria. See, where department number is equal to 20 and E name like A percentage. Understood now? When E name like A percentage. So who is the employee who is working for department 20 and having starting letter is A? Adams is the only employee whose name starts with A and is working for department number 20. Understood now? Fine. Okay, now very interesting fact, yeah. Same thing now. Retrieve all employees whose name starts with A and are working for department number 20. But just I have got something interesting here just to show you what is the precedence of operators. Means evaluation of operators. Evaluation of operators is always in SQL also is from left to right only. Evaluation of operators is also from left to right. Just see this. I'll remove this braces. And you know data in database is what? Case sensitive now. Data in database is case sensitive. But column names, queries, table names, they are not case sensitive. Fine. Look at this now. So if I execute this query, first what will happen? My intention is what? So retrieve all employees whose name starts with A and working for department number 20. So I have written the query where department number is equal to 20 and E name like A percentage. There no records will be selected. Because why? Why no records are selected? In department number 20, nobody's name starts with small a. Correct. So fine, no records. Or one more condition I am giving. E name like A percentage. See what happens. So it will display two employees. One is Alan, other one is Adams. But Alan is in 30 department. But I want all the employees working for what? Department number 20. Now the problem is the hierarchy of operators here. Because first these two conditions are getting executed. So I want to change the evaluation of operators. So what will I do? First I want this to execute. E name like, I can change the evaluation of operators like this. So first which one will execute now? First this will execute. I put braces now. So it will pick the result where name like A%. Both Alan and Adams will be picked like this only. Alan and Adams will be picked. But now the condition, next condition is what? And department number is 20. So that time Alan will be eliminated. Understood? So just showing you evaluation of operators. So when you use multiple criteria like this, you should know how to set your precedence. First which one, second which one, like that. In case if you want. Understood? When you write multiple conditions now, when you write multiple conditions, this becomes important. Okay, like you should know how to increase the precedence of operators, evaluation of operators. Okay, which one should execute first, which one should execute next. So here I wanted which one, or should execute first and then and, because they are having the same hierarchy wise they are same, but I want this to execute first, evaluation wise. So that's why I'll do like this, and now it will select correctly. Adams is working with department number 20. Okay, anyway, this is a case when you are using small a percentage, but we very well know what this query also will give you the same output, but here it is guaranteed that all our data is in uppercase. It is uppercase, this query will also work. Done? Okay, fine. Next, not operator is used for what? Negation. Retrieve all employees who are getting commission now. Who are getting commission. Earlier we saw all the employees who are not getting commission, but here I want all employees who are getting commission. So I'll tell whose commission is what? Not null. So these are the 4 employees who are getting commission. But the fact is, look, very interesting. Turner, the 4th one, his commission is what? 0. 0 is not considered as what? Null. That also a very interesting thing here. 0 is not null. It's a value. So clear? So there are 4 employees who are getting commission, but I negated is not null, I told. Commission is not null. Sorry, clear with all the operators now? Logical operator. Practice it, you'll understand it all very clearly. Yeah? Okay. So now we'll move to group by clause. Okay. So the next topic now, select from over. Okay, where is used for selecting what? Rows by giving conditions using operators. Done? Fine. Select where clause is used for selecting rows from tables by giving conditions using operators. Fine. You know the list of operators now. All the operators I gave on an example. Fine. So the next one we'll be seeing is group by now. Group by is very simple. What group by is used to form? Groups. You'll be getting so many results. You want to form groups in the results. Understood? So that is when you can go for what? Group by clause. Understood? When you see an example, you'll understand. So, but the thing is here, when you are using group by clause, if you use by chance now, I'm going to use group by. If at all use group by clause, then you cannot use any other column with select clause. That is one problem there. If you use, see we are going to write the query now. Select from where, okay, you can use it or not, leave it. Don't focus on where now. One more clause what we are, and there is space between group and by. Space is there. Okay. Now if I start using group by chance, I'll give a column name now. Example is something like job. That time no, you cannot use any other column names here. Apart from what? The grouping column name. Either you can use job. That's all. If you use group by clause, this, see till now we studied from select point of view. Select also tells the same, group by also tells the same only. But now we are saying it from what? Group by point of view. Earlier I was telling you from select point of view. So if you use group by, you cannot use any other column name here. Understood? You cannot use any other column name. But if at all you like what? Like I cannot use department number like this, e name like this. I can't use any other column name. Other column names. If I use group by, finished. I cannot use any other column name. So only thing what I can use there is an aggregate function. If I use group by, I can use aggregate function. That's it. I cannot use any other column name. I can use aggregate function. But if at all you want to use a column name, then it should be what? The group by attribute name. Means group by this name I can use, job. Any aggregate function along with the grouping attribute name. Group by not only job, you can say department number also. Anything you can group. So that time you will give the name, this one as what? The grouping attribute will be what here? Department number. Understood? So whatever you group, that only you should use as the column name here in the select clause. No other column. Understood? Why? You'll understand with an example. I'll show you very clearly. See, always, aggregate functions will be applied on groups. Your actual requirement is what? You want to apply aggregate function. The actual requirement is you want to apply aggregate function. But aggregate functions will be applied on what? Groups. You know that. Last class we studied it. And to create groups, what do you need now? Group by clause. Aggregate functions will be applied on groups, and to create groups we need group by clause. Same thing now. And if you use group by clause, you know the rule now. What? I cannot use any other columns to select. That's it. And if at all you want to use, it should be the grouping attribute name now. Very simple. Let's see now. See, retrieve the sum of salary for each job type using, you see this is a query now. For each job type, it's almost all giving the idea. You need what? For every job type means grouping is required. Understood? You want the sum of salary for each job type. Grouping is mandatory now. Okay. So now here I don't want to eliminate rows. If you want, you can use where clause also, but we will not do it without where now. So I will focus only on what now? Select from, group by. Select and from is mandatory. Remember that. Select and from is always mandatory. This is how you will write. So retrieve the sum of salary for each job type. So here definitely I don't want to eliminate rows. Do I want to eliminate rows? No. So why will I use where clause? Understood? So next, but I need to group here, because for every job type, select from, group by. Yes, I'll group by what now? Job. Fine, do this first. Okay, first fill in the blanks of what? Table. In the from clause, first fill table. Then you say group by. That's it. And now you can only select job also. You will only group the job and show you. Understood? Group by job. Okay, fine. Now using this is optional. It's not mandatory. If at all you want, use it, else leave it. But apart from that, what I can use? The only column what I can use is the grouping attribute name now. If I use group by, the only column name I can use with the select clause is the grouping attribute name. Along with that, I can use any aggregate function. Which aggregate function I'll use? I want the sum of salary, or it can be average salary, like that. So I'll use max salary, min salary, but I'm taking which one? Sum salary. Highest salary in every job, least salary in every job, average salary of every job, total salary of every job. Understood, no? So like that. So I'll go with sum salary. You can write many queries, check it out. Very simple. It is used for grouping, that's it, nothing else. I can just say group by anything, job or department number, anything like that. Done? So fine. Last class we studied this. Okay, see this. The sum of salary. It will display. Now what will display? This is a sum of salary in every job type. But it looks quite illogical now. Means for which job type you want? Means what is the sum of salary? Means this is for which job type? This is for which job type? That is why they have made a provision what? Along with aggregate function, means if you use group by, you can use only what? Only the group by attribute name, so that your result will be more meaningful. That's why this is only column they are allowing. The only reason why they are allowing is so it becomes more meaningful in the result. So see this now. Done? And one more thing. See, I'll also select group only job. See this. Select job. Okay. When I say select job, group by job, what will happen? Only job will be displayed. But I can select only that column. That's what I'm trying to show you. Here it looks in, what is that? Meaningless. Understood? But rule is what? If you use group by, you should select only the group by attribute name. Any other column name like ename will give you error. Yeah? Because you are not using the grouping attribute column name in select clause. So this only I have to use comma and any aggregate function. Which is that I used? Sum. Done? Okay. So fine. This is one query. Retrieve the sum of salary for each job type. The same query. See here it is without job, but here it is with the job. That's all. The display I'm changing it. Query number 19 is displaying without what? Job, and the same thing, query number 20 is displaying with job, the sum of salaries. That's it. Means here I am not using the job in the select clause, here I am using job in the select clause. Nothing more different. Same thing I typed and showed you, but now it's there already in the bottom. Fine. Now next, find the number of employees in each department. So you always get the idea, in each department, in every department. So obviously I have to group by what now? Department number. So write the query now. Group, select from group by. Group by what you'll write? Department number. From which table? EMP. Call. You have to use the grouping attribute name. Fine. And I'll say count star. Like that you can use any aggregate function. Aggregate functions are always applied on groups. Remember that. So first group it and then apply your aggregate functions. Understood? So in department number 30 there are 6 employees, in department number 20 there are 5, and department number 10 there are 3 employees. Totally 14 employees now. And department number 40 does not have what? Any employees. We know that. Does department number 40 have any employee? See there. These are the list of employees. Who is there in 40 department? Nobody. Fine. So one job is waiting for you. Get ready. Department number 40 is vacant. Okay, next. Example for having clause. Understood? So example for having clause. This is a very interesting thing now. See, select the departments in which more than 4 employees are working. Okay. So before we go to one second, before we go to which one having clause, are you clear with group by now? Are you clear with group by? Okay. Always aggregate functions will be applied on groups, and to create groups we use group by clause. When you are using group by clause, no other column can be used for select operation along with the select clause. Apart from the grouping attribute, column name. However, you can use only aggregate functions along with the select clause. Understood? I pointed it out. So next we'll go with having. Now you have got groups. In that you want to select particular group. Understood now? So first see how it is going on now. From clause will execute. Then what will happen? After from clause executes, table will be selected. Then group by will happen. Some groups are formed. I want to eliminate some group now. So that is why I'll use what? Having. So having is used for selecting what? Groups. Having clause is used for selecting groups. So for selecting groups, you have to give a condition. You have to give a condition. So you'll give a condition now. So this is the syntax of having clause. Remember, this is the syntax. Write like this only. Understood? How will you write? See this. Be careful with this. Having. Next, what you have to provide, aggregate function. Compulsory. One second, syntax of having clause would be like this. Having aggregate function, operator and value. See, having is used for selecting group now. And if you want to work with group, what do you need? Aggregate function now. Simple. So if you want to work with a group, you have to use the aggregate function. So I'll use aggregate function, operator, and I provide a value. That's it. So means when I write it, you'll understand now. When you see the query, you'll start understanding now. Understood? So if you want to use having, group is mandatory. If you want to use having, what is mandatory now? Group should be there. Otherwise, there is no point in using having. When there is no group, how will you select a group now? So that is why if you want to use having, group by is mandatory. If you want to use having, group by becomes mandatory. But if you want to use group by, having is optional. Understood now? If you want to use having, group by is mandatory. I'll tell you why. First see the query. But if you want to use group by, having is optional. When I was using group by, did I use having? No. When I was using group by, I did not use having. I'll tell you why. Understood? But if I'm using having, I need what? Group by is mandatory. Because having is used for what? Selecting groups only. And if there is to create groups, you have to use what? Group by. Very simple. So this is a trick. Okay. And now first let's see this output. This is the syntax. So what was the query we are discussing? Yeah, select the departments in which more than 4 employees are working. You want to select the department in which more than 4 employees are working. So you have to first group by what? Department. You have to group now. Okay, the query is simple, right? Select the department in which more than 4 employees are working. So first you will group by what? Department number. Okay, I mean table you write it. First fill in the blanks will be always table. Okay, EMP group by department number. Now in the select clause I can use what? Only department number. And I can use what? Aggregate function. Which aggregate function I will use? Count star. So this will give you the count of employees now. And groups will be formed. Yes or no? Forget having now. But I want to remove the, so how many groups will be formed? You just now saw the result. What was the result you saw if I execute this? What was the result? Means this was the result. In department number 30, 6 employees are working. In department number 20, 5 employees are working. And in department number 10, 3 employees are working. But I want the department in which more than 4 employees are working. So this query will give you that result. Understood? In the previous query, man, find the number of employees in each department. Just I'll add one clause extra now. Which one? Having. That's it. See the difference between the two queries. But the query is this query was written for a different purpose. This was written for what purpose? Find the number of employees in each department. But here, select the departments in which more than 4 employees are working. So now groups have been formed. Yes or no? How many groups have been formed? 3 or 4. 4 groups are there. 4 groups are there. Okay, group by department number. Okay, so because 3 groups are formed. I'll show you how the groups are formed. Not 4, 3 groups are formed. See here. See that I am grouping by what now? Department number. So 30 will be in one group. 20 will be in other group. 10 will be in another group. All will be grouped now. 10 will not be grouped because it's not there only. When it is not there, it will not come into what? Group only. Because there are no, I am grouping by department number. Tell me now which employee is there in a department number 10? Sorry, 40 I am talking. In department number 40 there are no, I'm sorry about that, not 10, 40. So in department number 40 there are no employees only. So that will not be formed as a group. So only 3 groups will be formed now. Department number 10 is one group, 20 is another group, 30 is another group. Okay. So after you form the group, then what you will do? You will count. So that is what it is doing now. In this previous query, he was giving the list, a number of employees in every department. It was giving the number of employees in every department. It was showing you the result. In 30 department, 6 employees. In 20 department, 5 employees. In 10 department, 3 employees. But in department number 40, there are no employees. So it's telling you very clearly. Now what I should do is, I want the group only which is having more than 5 employees. So I have to eliminate the group now. 3 groups are there. Understanding now? So I'll give a condition now. How will I give the condition? See this. I'm giving a condition using having. Okay. Aggregate function what? Count star greater than. This is the syntax. Having aggregate function operator value greater than 3. Sorry, greater than 5, not 4. 4 employees. Okay. That's it. And look carefully. Having is also used to give a condition. Where is also used to give a condition. Yes or no? Where is used to give condition for what? To select rows. Having is used to give a condition to select groups. That is where the difference comes. And this is the most interview question for you. Difference between having and where clause. So where is always used for selecting rows. Having is always used for selecting groups. Understood? I got the table, I'll show you. Understood? So now, and the where condition, how do you give always? What is the syntax of where clause now? Where? Column name. Operator value. See this condition, how you give the conditions. Understood? So where clause cannot be used for giving conditions on what? Groups. Where clause cannot be used for giving conditions on groups. So if at all you want to give a condition on groups, you have to use what? Having clause. So if at all you want to give a condition on groups, you have to use having clause. So now to use having, that is why what? Group by becomes mandate. To use having now, group by becomes mandatory. First form the group now, then you can eliminate the group. Simple, one word. Understood? First if you form the group, you can eliminate and select the groups. You'll remove some groups and you will select some groups. Means don't get confused with eliminate and select. Means end of the day you are selecting some groups out of some groups. Understood now? So that's it. Are you clear with the syntaxes? Syntax of having clause and syntax of where clause. Okay. Next question now. Select the departments which are paying total salary of more than what? 10,000. One more example for what? Having. So select the department which are paying total salary of more than 10,000 is the query now. So what will you do? Group by what? Department number. Yes? You have to group it. That is fine. Now I will calculate the total salary in every department. Having, see. First I group by, see, write like this. Group by department number. Then you will sum salary, no, total salary is sum salary, comma, department number. So this thing's done. But you want which department? So it gives a total amount for every department now. But I want which department is getting more than 10,000. Here it gives only what? Total salary of every department. So I'll say now having some salary greater than 10,000. That's it. There's only one department which is giving more than 10,000 salary, which is that department number 20. If I remove having clause, just see this. So it's just giving me the total salary in every department. But I want the department which is having paying salary more than 10,000. Total salary more than 10,000. That's it. Are you clear? Okay, fine. Now last one, order by. Order by is very simple now. Order by is used for what? Sorting. See this. Very simple, man. Select from order by. I'll sort by what? Name. It is stored in a different way, but I'll sort it in a different way. So run. One second. Having is done now. Having clause is used to select groups by giving conditions using aggregate function with operators. If you want to use having clause, group by is mandatory. Understood? Because having clause will use aggregate function, and to use aggregate function, grouping is required. To use aggregate function, what is required? Because having function, say, having clause will use aggregate function, and aggregate function needs what? Groups. Because aggregate function will be always used on groups only. Okay, fine. Then when you are using group by, having is optional. Why? You are only grouping. You don't want to remove any groups or select any groups. There it becomes optional. Very simple. So when you are using group by, having is optional because I don't want to select any groups. If I want to select, then it becomes mandatory. Means when you use having, group by is mandatory, but vice versa is not true. When you are using group by, having is optional. Done? Fine. The last one now, order by is used for ordering the output of the query by ascending or descending. Default is ascending. We'll see how to do descending. Yeah. Retrieve all employees in ascending order. Order by what? e-name. So I'm sorting it by name. See, sorted by name. But if you see in the database, it's like this. Understood? But while displaying it as sorted in this way. Clear? Order by name. So now, if I want, this is ascending. Default is what? Ascending. Just you write DESC, it will become descending. That's it. And selecting columns is your wish. Select from mandatory. Order by what you want to do. Clear? Done? Now, query with all clauses. Till now you learned so many clauses. See now. Find all the type of jobs whose total salary is greater than 1500 in department number 20. Means in department number 20, find out which job is paying more than 1500 salary. Means total salary. Understood? So fine. See this. How you write? So, see this. Select from mandatory. You should know what clauses to use now. Select from mandatory. Means you are telling in department number 20 there is a specific, you are clearly specifying. So where is required? Then, but again in department you have to group now. So I'll use group by. In department number 20 I have to group. So I'll use group by. Having sum of salary, because I have to eliminate the group now. So I'll use, or I have to select a particular group, sum of salary, order by job, like this. What is the order of execution now? First is from, it will select the table, then where, it will select the rows, then it will do grouping. Once the rows are selected, there it will do grouping. After that, having will be applied and the groups will be selected, then columns will be selected and then it will be sorting. Sorry, 1, 2, yeah. I've used only 6, huh? Yeah. Got the order of execution, huh? So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. It's not clear, I'll write it again. The order of execution will be 1, 2, 3. I've already shown you earlier. 4, 5, 6. That's it. Sorry, 5 is select. First from, then where, then group by, having, then it will go to select. That's it. So now your query becomes easy. This is the query we saw in the last class. Same query. So to understand that, this much of route you have to take, clearly. This is one time and that's it. You will not have any problem now. Clear? So query with all clauses. Clear with all this select now? Anatomy? Fine. Now some 2 simple examples are there. Shall I clear with, you are clear with this now? You clear this now? Okay. This is not related to any clause. Just see this. If you want to eliminate duplicates, simple. Just showing you one more. This one now, distinct is the heading. Just see this. Use of distinct keyword. Without distinct, see, select job from EMP will give you what? All jobs now. Clauses are over. This is a new thing now. Select a job from EMP means what it will do? It will give the list of all jobs. Fine. But it is giving you duplicates now. Clerk, salesman, manager, like that it is giving you. So if you don't want duplicates, just use distinct. So it will not give you any duplicates. 5 types of job. So distinct is one more thing what you can use only with select clause. Clear? So this much done. And lastly, out of today, the interview question would be this one. What is the difference between having and where clause? Very simple. Where is used to provide condition. Remember, both are used to provide condition. But the difference is it is used to select rows. Having is also used to provide condition to select groups. Where condition is given by using column name. Remember the syntax. Syntax of where clause is where, column name, operator, value. Having condition is given by using aggregate function. Operator, value. So you have to use aggregate function there. Where clause can be used with what? Not only select, update and delete also you can use, delete query. But having can be used only with what? Select query. We cannot use aggregate function with where clause. So we can use aggregate functions with having clause. These are the differences. But first two differences are very, very important for the interview. This is okay. First two differences only the interviewer will be, answers only will be, the interviewer will be expecting from you. Clear? Okay. So this completes the structure of SQL query, its execution process and all that. Clear? Fine. That's it.